we go. Okay. For some reason, when I actually do like set up, like schedule a live video, for some reason, every time um, it takes a really long time to finally go live. Hi to whoever is watching. Happy Lughnasdh or Lammas Day, which is also translates to bread. Lammas means bread, but I am trying to do too many things as usual. I'm trying to like get back into that work schedule, but then all the fun, exciting things that I was able to do and had time for when I wasn't working. And it's been a struggle. I don't know if anybody else is feeling that way. As scary of a time as this is, and how uncertain everything was, there were things that I did enjoy about not working. And I'm just trying to keep those things in my life because before I realized once I wasn't working, that was all that was life. Work was the only thing that I did. And when I wasn't doing it, I was like, what have a life? I realized, yes, I have a husband, I have friends, I have family. I have hobbies that I like to do in the evenings after work, after dinner, but it's like I wasn't living my life, and I'm trying to not let that happen again now that I'm starting to work. And it's a really huge struggle. I don't know if anybody else feels like that, but I guess maybe I should have just tried to take today off, because for me it is a holiday. So everybody else gets their holidays off. Why can't I have a holiday off? I don't know. Anyways, so I've got some lemon water here, candle. Oh, I've got a candle going here. It's not one of my candles. This is a candle from a class that I'm taking. It's a nice lavender candle. So I'm trying to get myself kind of like settled down, get back into massage mode, which has always been really difficult for me. So I'm going to light some sage too. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like the only thing I was doing was working before the pandemic, because I really struggled with getting things done in the morning before having to go to work, because most people have massages in the evening. So I wasn't starting anything because I didn't like that feeling of having to stop in the middle of something and have to work mode. And I didn't want to like make myself feel rushed and anxious before work, because I try to remain calm and in the massage zone, So yeah, I'm just trying to figure it all out. Like I know we all are. So one of the things I try to do today is, because Lammas does translate to, where's my notebook? Oh, let me get so I can stay on topic. I took a lot of notes last night because I was trying to get ready to harvest. I have been picking a few things here and there, but I thought I would be able to harvest some of my herbs today, but they are not ready to harvest. So I was doing all this research last night. Just to make sure I was doing it right, because I have had some weird things happen in my garden, because I'm to container gardening, because I used to live in an apartment. This is a growing season in the house, but last year I did a very small garden and didn't do much Um, well, and I took so many notes last night on because I planted white sage and I really didn't think that it was going to grow because it's a desert plant, so it doesn't like all this humidity and it's used to very dry weather and not a lot of rain like we get here. And it surprisingly is growing. I couldn't like I just started the seeds and nothing happened. Like I started them indoors and then I put them outside, like the little pods that I had put the seeds in, even though they didn't start, and I just threw dirt and they actually grew. um, I in all the research that I did last night, I think the reason are my notes today. Oh, okay. I think the reason that it did so well was because the dirt that I ended up having delivered for my garden came from a landscaping company, but they do mostly um, masonry work and like patios and walls and stuff like that. So the dirt was very sandy, rocky. There were even like little chips of tiles and stuff and stones from, I guess they just fall in there, or maybe sometimes they grind up some stones and put it in there. I don't know. But I was kind of disappointed with the quality of the soil, to be honest with you. And there was also a lot of broken glass in it. But in all the research that I did last night on white sage is that not only does it grow in the deserts, but it's usually on the foothills below the mountains. So the soil is usually really rich in granite. And I bet that because of the masonry company had all the stones in there, I bet a lot of the stones they work with is granite. So I think that kind of worked out really well for me unintentionally. So it's kind of funny how that kind of thing happened. So yes, Lugh is the first harvest, the first of 3 harvests for the year. So we have Lammas, and then the next one will be or Mabon, or I don't know how you prefer to pronounce it, and then Samhain is the last one. Um, so so Lammas translates to loaf mass. I attempted to again. I wasn't able to harvest like I wanted to, but I did have some vegetables coming out. So I have some cucumber that I'm going to try to pickle. I thought I was going to be able to do that today, but ran out of time. And I've got some squash and I've also got some zucchini. Both of these, I'm so glad. Like, I don't know if you can see the holes in it. They did get the squash borer, but I found this organic stuff that you're supposed to spray on it. And I hastily just because I was like, oh God, like trying to save these vegetables. And because I had just told my neighbor that he could come get whatever he wanted. And then I was like, oh God, he's going to come over here and see that they're just like infested. So I was get rid of them as quickly as possible. And I think what I used worked. And there was kind of troubleshooting and getting from other people about it. But now that I know more about it, I think I can prevent it from happening next year. And obviously it worked because they've started producing again. I did lose a few plants. So yeah, that's my first harvest. I do have garlic too that I harvested in the beginning of spring, but you have to let it dry for about 6 weeks. And that is ending up being around now. So they've been hanging on basically like a clothesline for 6 weeks. And everything's still on it, the stems and the roots. So now, after that has been 6 weeks, I can trim the stems and trim the roots and then figure out how to store them because I'm gonna have to figure that out. I don't know. So the I don't know if I just cut out something just popped up that said that the connection is stable. So welcome back if you're still here. Sorry about that. So yeah, I'm happy and pleased with the first harvest, despite having pests and some things work out, some things not work out. But it was still so fun to watch it grow, and it's going to continue to grow, and we're going to have more harvests. in a few weeks or in like 6 weeks, and then I'm excited for fall. Fall is one of my favorite seasons. So uh, garden is doing good. If you don't have a garden, I used to have great success on balconies, even balconies that didn't have very much sun. I was still always able to get some herbs like full sun, but I usually had a lot of success with herbs in containers. And then sometimes I do tomatoes. They usually do really good in containers. Yeah, so happy first harvest. Um, the the first of three harvests, kind of called in right before fall, before the weather, or you can kind of sense that it started changing a little bit. Getting We're not getting cooler here in North Carolina, but you can kind of feel the shift happening around this time. So it's also considered to be the beginning of the end of the summer. um, so it's also called Lughnasdh, um, which is spelled Lughnasdh, and that is named after a god named Lu, who is in one of my oracle decks, which is so cool because I had this God and Titans deck that I got specifically to connect with energy, because a lot of the decks that I have are very feminine or goddess oriented. So I wanted something just to kind of balance that out. And for, look, I turned right to the page. So Lu was a Celtic god. Um, and during the Tuatha De Danann, um, he was the son of um, the King Nuada of the Tuatha De Danann. And there were a couple in researching, like this has mythology background on him. But then I have like some other books that they seem to be kind of different. Basically, he was trying to like join the king's court, and in this one it says that he was like, well, I'm an excellent blacksmith, like, don't you need a blacksmith? And they were, no, we don't need a blacksmith. And then he'd like, well, I'm a good farmer, I can do this. And they're like, we already have one of those. And he kept just naming all these things, like, just because he wanted to be a member of the court. And finally he was like, well, what about somebody that can do all of those things? And they were like, well, we don't have somebody like that. And that's how he got his like status in um, Celtic history. And but another translation or version, and so that's where the term, I don't know why, Jack of all trades comes from. That, like, you would think it would be Lou of all trades, because supposedly he actually was a very skilled blacksmith. And I think there was like a list of all of the skills. Yeah, a poet, magician, historian, blacksmith, harpist, a brilliant swordsman. And I think being a brilliant swordsman was like what he was really known for, because he's associated with confidence and strength, and also just being skilled, like well-rounded and skilled in all things. So the energy around this holiday, other than the harvest, is also focusing on your skills, honing in on your skills. If there's something that you are to accomplish, asking Lou for help and guidance in that, and a skill, um, and also doing rituals surrounding like blessing the tools that you need to use to accomplish the skills that you are wanting to accomplish. So I'm planning on doing that tonight. I have like picked up all these, or restarted all these new hobbies, and like I said earlier, I'm trying to keep those in my life. I don't want to lose the creative side of myself. I don't want to lose the spiritual side of myself. I want to have a well-rounded life with a well-rounded skill set, and I do have a lot of, I just don't use them. I'm an herbalist. I'm a massage therapist. Um, there are a lot of other things that I like to do that I kind of tend to keep private. I love making candles and creative and crafty, and I've lost a lot of um, because we just get so stuck in that mundane, go to work, come home, eat, go to bed, go to sleep, get up, go to work, go to bed, get up, go to work, and it's just like this cycle that's like, I don't want to get into that again. So I think I wanted to bring that up because I think that's so cool that that's the energy that Lugh hails over, is accomplishing what you need to accomplish and um, becoming a master of skills. The ritual in this oracle deck has a tool blessing. So, like any books, art supplies, um, if there's actual physical tools that you use for whatever craft or skill that you're wanting to accomplish. Um, and there's like a little invocation and guide my heart, guide my hand, Lugh the master, bless and expand. Right, Lugh of many talents, bless my hands and my tools. Make my heart be gallant, you who are hero, you the master of skill. Inspire me now to do your will. So this is really resonating with me, and I thought I wanted to share because um, I would like to master some skills. And I wanted to do it before I did, but you're supposed to use a silver candle for this. I guess in relation to tools are usually, especially like blacksmithing, you're working with metals. So maybe that's where the silver comes in to play for this. I'm not really sure. But I'm going to attempt to make a silver candle. I ordered in yellow. I wasn't really expecting it to be metallic, but I'm going to try to make a silver candle. And I wanted to do that before I did the video, but I'm going to roll just one of my regular candles in silver glitter and see. I'm probably going to have to use some sort of glue, and then I'm going to do a test run tonight doing this ritual. And if it works out, I'm totally going to start selling glitter candles because that would be awesome. I don't know how the glue is going to react to being lit, and so we'll see how that goes. And baking bread is a good thing to do today. That is why I ran out of time. I'm the baker on the planet. I'm so glad I decided to not try to make my own gluten-free bread from scratch because I knew I would have failed at that. So I got this box. I'm really good at making boxed gluten-free stuff. This is a pizza crust, and I made 2 of them. First one kind of sucked, and the other one came out okay. And I was just pre-baking the crust so that when my husband comes home from work, he can make the pizza because he's really good at making pizza. And I'm working late tonight, so when I come home, there will be pizza, and I still sort of made bread for Lammas, Loaf Day. Maybe one day. I was searching around the internet for some gluten-free bread recipes, but yeah, anyways. So I'm going to try to make a silver candle, and I will let you guys know about that. Lammas aside, and talking about the moon, I am totally struggling when the moon is in Scorpio. And this happened last month. It was either the first or last quarter was in Scorpio, and I was late on doing a video, and I apologize. I'm really trying to stick with it, but I mean, if there's anything I'm trying to teach here is to figure out how you react to the cycles of the moon and the changing of the moon sign. So let me be a lesson to you. I cannot function when the moon is in Scorpio. Right now, at least, I've never really noticed a correlation in the past, but that's what I've been able to pinpoint. And like, I don't know what it could be because I fall into this deep, deep, deep depression. Like, so deep I can barely get out of bed. And I literally cannot function. And I look at the app on my phone that tells me what sign the moon is in, and it's freaking Scorpio. And I'm trying to figure that out. When it shifted into Sagittarius, and what are we in today? I don't have my phone. When it shifted into Sagittarius, we're either still in Sagittarius or we've just moved out of it. I'm not sure. The full moon is on Monday, and it's going to be in Aquarius, which is my moon sign. So I'm really excited about the full moon. I was just like, it keeps having that message pop up. I hope you're able to see the whole video. But anyways, yeah, I cannot function. I do very well with the moon in Sagittarius is what I learned out. Or figured out, learned out. But yeah, I don't know. Once I figure it out, I will let you know. It definitely has something to do with like my shadow side, and that comes in. And I guess I'm just like working through something internally with my shadow self. So yeah, that's all I've got to say about that right now. I'll get back to you once I figure it out. So back to Lugh. He's also the sun god. And again, I mentioned like the Lugh of all trades. He's a master of a lot of things, but he's most known for as God, the master of arts, and a binder of oaths. So Lammas is also associated with hand fasting sometimes. And the ritual is that you do a hand fasting and bind to somebody for a year and a day. And then when you come back to next year, figure out if you guys still feel like you're working together, and then you'll repeat the ritual and just like continuing to do that and like repeating your vows and committing to whoever it is that you have handed with. So it's a really nice tradition to maybe just get married, like plan your wedding for August 1st. That would be a really nice wedding day. So apparently every time this year, one of my Wheel of the Year books that I started last on, and so I'm finishing it up. I just read each section for that whatever time of year it is. And in the Llama section, one of the books, so the book specifically talks about the constellations and what you should be able to see in the sky during that time of year. And one of the things, in addition to certain constellations that we're able to see this time of year, there's also the Perseid meteor shower. And one of the rituals that you can do on Lammas is go out and lay on the ground and watch the meteor shower. And they're supposed to be like so bright, like bigger than most stars, and make a wish on every one. Like, what do you want to accomplish this year? What do you want to hone this year? And just every time you see one, just like keep manifesting, manifesting, and manifesting along with the meteor shower. At this time of year, you're supposed to honor the sun god and thank him for the harvest. This is the first harvest, so it's thanking the sun for the life that it gives, for the fruit that it gives, which obviously the fruit that it gives you life. So honoring life, honoring light, honoring the sun. Because we are in the sign of Leo right now, the sign of Leo, it's just a really powerful time to celebrate the light, because it's going to start getting darker soon. So celebrating the light, life, celebrating sun, celebrating the lion, and courage and generosity. So another one of the things, instead of making wishes on the meteor shower, you can do things that you're grateful for, things, thanking people or that um, were generous to you. Like generosity is the key word. Like thanking people that have been generous to you, thanking situations that have been generous to you, thanking the sun for being generous to you, for giving us food and giving us life. And just like some things to think about are like how often do your actions align with yours? Is another one that you can be like wishing on those stars in the meteor shower. Um, and then the phase of the moon between the first quarter and the full moon, we're still planning and making progress and taking action, and it is getting bigger. The light of the moon is getting bigger, so we're still activating, manifesting, um, regenerating, making plans, laying foundation, strengthening and gathering resources to achieve your plan, and then using the energy of Lammas and Lugh and mastery of all trades to like really, really focus and hone in and master whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. A good stone for right now is carnelian, which is orange stone. I think all of my carnelian is in a grid doing some work, so I don't want to screw it up. Right, but it's an orange stone. I've showed it to you before. It's somewhat translucent, but it's a very bright, vibrant orange color. It kind of reminds you of like fire orange, and it's associated with creativity and also energy. It's kind of considered like a caffeine, like a stimulant, a stimulating stone, like creative caffeine energy stone, and also pyrite and citrine. The pyrite is a manifesting stone for prosperity and abundance, and so is citrine. But citrine is also yellow and reflects that energy of the sun. So that's usually something that's associated with not only just Leo, which is this we're in, but also because this holiday is basically about worshiping the sun and giving thanks for the harvest and celebrating, really, like you've worked so hard all year and now the fruits of your labor are finally starting to appear. Yeah, so I encourage you to make bread today. Um, I tried to put too many things on my plate. I tried to harvest in the garden. I tried to bake bread. I did your oracle readings for, or I pulled the cards and then I will film the video doing the readings this weekend. So I'll have a new oracle reading posted on Monday. But if you're just looking for something really simple to do, I'm probably going to be so tired by the time I get home from work. I'm going to coloring this page from the Coloring Book of Shadows. I'll put a link to her website. You can get them on Amazon too, but it's coloring is just one of my favorite things to do to de-stress and unwind after work at the end of the day. My husband and I usually do some sort of craft at night after dinner while we're watching TV, just to like something that isn't work related. So that's all I had to say. And a lot. It's been like an hour, hasn't it? I don't know. Anyways, thank the master of all trades, and thank the sun, thank the harvest. And this, like, even, I wanted to point out, so because we're between the first quarter and the full moon right now, and you want to be activating and planning and like being active. But since this is like the end of summer, it's also kind of a time to start slowing down and getting back into like getting ready for fall, getting back into going inside, um, like having your last celebrations before we start to go inward and hibernate for the winter. Um, and that's how I felt kind of since the new moon. I'm like, come on, Allison, like let's go. I've just been kind of stuck in the dark moon phase. And I also like learned recently that because it's the month before my birthday, that is also like your personal dark moon of the year. So I'm kind of stuck in my dark moon phase, like thinking about the entire going within, um, shedding things that don't work for me anymore, letting go. But it's also nearing the end of the summer. So we're kind of nearing the dark moon phase of the year as well. I don't know if I'm explaining this accurately. So I am not really planning as much and doing as much work. I'm still using the energy of the new moon to do that, to like plan and set intentions and manifest, but my intentions are as active as they were at the beginning of the year, where I was like going and trying to plan and figuring out how do we get how do we work with this new world. Now it's more about like planning to rest, planning to wrap things up, finish old projects, just kind of getting ready for the fall and going within and harvesting. Like we've already done all the work throughout the whole year, so it's like it's kind of a different energy than like in the beginning of the year when we were like planning all these things and checking all these things off and getting as much done as possible. Now it's kind of like um, for me, anyways, I've noticed like it's time for me to rest done and rest and relax and self care and rejuvenation. That's what I'm focusing on this time of year. Even though, like, you can still be planning and setting intentions, but it can be for rest and relaxation, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So, with that, I think I will say goodbye and I will let you know when I'm posting that video. I might post it over the weekend. If I'm able to like shoot it in one day, it takes like a while to upload, but maybe I'll post it on Sunday. We'll see. So keep an eye out for that, and I'll let you know when it's ready. Um, yeah. All right. Happy Lammas. Happy. Um, I hope you have sweet dreams of blue, master of all trades, and yeah, I'll see you next week.